will be given by Andrew Williamson. Andrew is giving a speech today on how to give a speech. This speech idea came from a speech coach, Lisa Vanderwalk, who sent an email teaser that Andrew responded to. The ideas he is sharing came from a webinar that she gave. This is a club about speaking, and ideas to improve our speaking can be of use to all of us. The title of the speech is, What Will It Cost You to Learn? What will it cost you to not learn to speak well? Welcome, Andrew Williamson.
Thank you so much. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, it is my honor to speak with you this morning. I heard Lisa Vanderwalk speak, and I thought she had some really good ideas. And I thought about the title, What Will It Cost? What will it cost you not to learn to speak well? See, what if you never give that life-changing speech? What if you never change somebody's life? What if you never move your audience? What if you never communicate your ideas? So when I listened to her, she gave me tips for a whole year, and then she had this webinar about a plan for having a greater impact and using less content. Now you think, why do that? But I like the idea of less content, more impact. Don't you want to make an impact? See, I heard somebody say, why can't I just do what I've always done? I've been really successful at it. And yes, you can continue to do what you've always done and you'll get what you've always gotten, or so a self-help coach said. But why would you not want to change? Yes, it's true, you'll never be embarrassed. You'll never worry about how well you did or didn't do. You'll never come out of your comfort zone. You'll never make the improvements that you need to become an effective speaker. And if there's one thing that I thought about, why do we come if it's not to become better speakers? So yes, I want to be a better speaker, and I thought this was a good topic to start with today. And so the problem is most people start with the body and they spend so much time and they grab so much detail. But did you know that public speaking is not about handing out or giving out information? It is about making a transformation in the way somebody thinks. You want to move them to feel, act, think differently than they do currently. You really want to sell yourself, to sell your ideas. So listen, it starts with the fact that you're going to do all this research. You've done the research. Now you have to narrow it down. And once you narrow it down to 3 or 4 points, then you start refining and getting those key points. But before you write the first word, you have to go back to that original thought. What do I want my audience to feel, think, or do differently? Because if you're not asking that, you're not really getting to the key, most important ideas of your speech. So really, the importance of the opening, and that's the part that a lot of people leave out. They would spend so much time on the body that they don't work on the opening or the closing. You have to be as good at your opening and closing as you do at the body. Listen, the importance of the opening is to give the audience a reason. Why do you want to listen to me? I'm trying to persuade you that I have something to share of value. I'm trying to convince you that there is a value if you listen to me, that it will improve something you're doing. So that's what I'm trying to do. Now, you have 30 seconds. That's why you see a lot of speakers going, hey, how are you today? Good to see you. Boy, this is a great audience. We're going to have a great time. You're trying to get your energy up. You're trying to be positive. You're trying to overcome any fears that you have about public speaking. So the opening is so important. You've got that 30 seconds. You want to really hit your audience with the hook. You want to try to draw them in. That's why you see a lot of speakers, especially preachers, they try to, has this ever happened to you? What do you think about this? You know, I was on my way to work and this happened. They're trying to become like you. They're trying to get down off of their pedestal. They're trying to be a common person. In the opening, I want to give you a reason to listen to me, but in the body, I want to get those main points. I want to speak as clearly and as cleanly as possible. I want to try to illustrate my points so that you understand exactly what I'm trying to say. And so I have something for you today that might help. If you will turn over your agenda to the back side, and if you will write an acrostic, parts, P-A-R-T-S, parts. P, as Nicole would say, the phrase that pays. You want to create that memorable phrase that your audience can take away. A, anchor points, the illustrations, the stories you tell. You want to try to make it memorable. You won't remember but 4 or 5% of what I say. You may remember 20% if you write it down. So you want that story, that image, that visual image that will speak to the points. Then the reflection, the engaging, the getting the audience to think, to asking the challenging questions, to give a challenge. And then the technique or the specific action that you want your audience to take away immediately. What can you act on immediately? And then the sell. Every time you speak, you're selling yourself. You're selling your ideas. You're trying to convince, persuade, move your audience. And so parts, phrase, anchor, reflection, technique, and sell. The closing is more than a summary. It is more than the conclusion of your speech. The closing is the ideas that you have. It's the persuading somebody to act, to move. It's the challenge. You know, it cost me nothing to give this speech, but it could cost you everything if you never learn to speak well, if you never have that influence in your life, if you never reach your dreams and hopes for the future. I know that you can become better speakers. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here with you today. Madam Toastmaster.